Stories now with Gyles Brandreth and Julia Hartley-Brewer. Welcome to both of you. And it's times like this, don't you, the world unites somehow. You look at all these different cities across the world and such darkness is going on in Ukraine. And here they are standing shoulder to shoulder protesting in cities like Tokyo, Milan, even in Russia itself. I think it was like 2,000 people were arrested there. God knows what's going to happen to those incredibly brave Russians who stood up.
Putin has achieved something extraordinary. He's brought the Western world together, united in a way it hasn't been for a generation. People around the world are saying, this is wrong, this is not on. That's been the incidental effect of this horror.
Julia?
Well, yeah, I mean, the world's united now. I wish they'd managed to come to it even just a few weeks earlier, months earlier, years earlier. Vladimir Putin has been a threat for a long time. You know, he didn't just suddenly out of the blue invade Ukraine. He's been in Crimea for 8 years, Georgia, Moldova. You know, he's taken puppet state of Belarus. He has been working on this for a long time. And I'm really relieved that the West has finally woken up to the threat that he poses. I worry sometimes it's going to be too late, but certainly what we've seen, I mean, protesters in Russia, incredible heroism. What we've seen on the streets of Ukraine, I think, is breathtaking in terms of ordinary men and women and just saying, we are going to defend our country. I think it's an incredible show of heroism that we've seen.
Well, those fleeing Ukraine have been met by volunteers in neighbouring countries holding signs offering accommodation, transport, mobile phone hotspots to allow refugees to stay in contact. On Good Morning Britain this morning, they spoke to doctors Katerina and Alexander, who revealed that they were treating Russian soldiers in local hospitals. She said they'll continue to treat anyone who needs.
It's amazing.
It's inspiring.
I mean,
it's moving, and it's a reminder that most people in the world are good people.
Yeah.
And there's a tiny number of people who are evil, but when there's somebody who is in command who is like that, that's what is so worrying. But it is, isn't it encouraging? And you watch the television, you're just inspired, moved to see this.
And that, I'm trying to hold on to all of that. However, there are those moments then when the fear really kicks in, and it isn't helped by what Putin was saying yesterday when he ordered Russia's military to put its deterrence forces, which include nuclear weapons, on special alerts.
Well, we don't know what he's doing there. Is he simply reminding us that the Soviet Union, Russia, has a deterrent?
Yeah.
Or is he actually really threatening us? It takes me back to when I was a child, aged 12, at school. There was the Cuban Missile Crisis in October 1962, where America and then the Soviet Union were head-to-head, you know, who would blink first. And at school, amazingly, we had routines where we hid under the desks in the event that there would be a nuclear attack. We practiced doing this. So, fortunately, nothing happened.
Can I ask you then, because you were a child that for the first time learnt what nuclear war was, I imagine, at that point. How did you feel about it? Like, were you doing those drills?
Well, I remember a school teacher quoting Einstein, who said, we don't know what weapons will be used in the Third World War, but we know that in the Fourth World War, it will be sticks and stones.
Yeah.
And it was a horrific reminder that a nuclear war could literally end the world. And let's be clear, he is not actually saying Russia intends to use nuclear weapons. He did not say that this weekend. He simply said, you know, I'm instructing these people to put us on extra special alert.
Well, it's thought that moving to alert status means it's easier to launch them more quickly. It doesn't mean there's a current intent to use them. America said that they condemned it, saying his decision is calling it unacceptable escalation. Julia, you got to hope. I think you know, a lot of people are saying quietly now, or loudly, that if it gets to that point, you've got to hope that someone within his own trusted, select group talk some sense into him.
I mean, that's what we're hoping for now, isn't it? A palace coup. Has he gone too far? We've already seen a couple of oligarchs sort of moving away from him. You've got to remember these economic sanctions. You know, your jet can't land, your children can't go to school in Europe at all. You can't go anywhere.
The ruble has collapsed this morning.
absolutely collapsed, 30 or 40% lost in value. The Russian central banks have to offer interest rates of 20% to get people to stay in. How many people will? I mean, the Norwegian sovereign fund, one of the biggest wealth funds in the world, saying we're selling everything Russian. Look, there are a lot of pressures on, and this is all about putting pressure on the people around Vladimir Putin to make them sit up and take notice. If you saw that footage yesterday, Vladimir Putin sitting again at that absurd long table with two of his military leaders at the other end, they look decidedly uncomfortable. And this is one of the issues. Is he mad? Is he bad? I would say certainly psychopath. I think we can safely say from what he's done in the past, his KGB background. But the question is he getting accurate information, accurate advice from his people around him? And my guess is he's not. They're all yes men. Everyone's afraid to tell him the truth. So he may not even know how bad things are.
Let's talk about a hero, though, because Vladimir Zelenskyy, incredible where he came from, his background. He was
He was
you.
an
Comedian.
He was you. He was an actor, an entertainer, a voiceover artist, one of the most popular people in this country. He was. That's the best thing about him. He was the voice.
Yes.
For people who don't know this, he became elected in 2019.
We've got a clip here of what he did.
And he was the voice of Paddington Bear in the film versions of Paddington Bear.
Here you go.
Всем привет, дорогие друзья! Я Владимир Зеленський. Я подарил свой голос потрясаючому харизму. Тітка Люсі завжди мріяла про Лондон, та не мала змоги. Якби вона це побачила, то вважайте, її мрія здійснилась. Тітко Люсі! Падінгтон.
So this is the guy now that is leading his country, uniting everyone. And a new hero.
Yes, he won, I think, Dancing on Ice in 2006.
It was the Ukrainian version of Dancing with the Stars.
Dancing with the Stars, so our Strictly.
Yeah.
He won that. Amazing. And he has become this hero by not leaving the country. President Biden said, you know, maybe you should get out.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't want to ride, I want help.
Just 30 seconds, Julia.
Yeah, he said, I don't need a ride, I want ammo. Oh, he's incredibly important. I talked to lots of ex-military men who've been, you know, not armchair generals like the four of us, and they've all said that having an inspirational leader makes all the difference. And there's no doubt at all Putin wants rid of him, but if he can lead his people, I just think it's an incredible, incredible story. It's a Hollywood movie and a TV show come to life, and I think we all want a very happy ending.
I just want him to
New world hero.
Yeah, without doubt.
Thank you both.
Thank you.